Let's paint this sweet little sketchbook illustration together of this fragrant violet flower that's just been picked. Hi, I'm Anna Mason. Welcome to Nature Studio TV. In this mini class, we'll be using just one colour to create a sweet illustration of an even sweeter smelling violet flower. For this sketch, we'll work in a line and wash style to really accentuate the form of the flower and hand. And here's a quick overview of the process. Having freehand drawn the outline in HB pencil, I then drew over it using a waxy coloured pencil using a firm pressure to create bold, defined boundaries that would help contain the watery paint. For this illustrative sketch, I wasn't aiming for accuracy, so I just focused on roughly matching the key proportions and angles. I outlined all the outer edges and darker structural lines, but left the finer details like veins and lighter areas to be developed later with paint to keep them delicate. The paint colour I've chosen for this is called Mars Black by Winsor & Newton. I especially like this watercolour paint for its granulating qualities, which means that the pigment doesn't spread evenly and creates a mottled texture. Next, I began the mapping out step by mixing a very pale watery grey and using my mop brush to gently place this all over the petals, covering all but the very brightest highlights, which I left as the paper colour. Any transparent watercolour paint with a wide tonal range will work for this type of painting. I was working in a sketchbook with a slightly rough paper to encourage my Mars Black paint to granulate. I continued into the black leaf, using a slightly darker dilution, but still working much lighter than the final result would be, so there was room to darken and add details later. Working down into the lightest tones of the hand, I was applying the paint in a relaxed, loose way, allowing some areas to be slightly darker where I wanted to suggest tonal variation. I worked into the lower leaves and stem, then whilst the paper was still quite wet, I moved into the next stage, adding the darkest tones. For this, I was applying thicker, darker paint with a smaller size 5 brush to start bringing in some contrast and detail to the leaves. Still with this smaller brush and a thicker paint mix, I moved back to the flower, which had now dried, adding darker details and taking care not to paint over the bright highlights. Then switching back to my mop brush, I worked into the darker parts of the petals, using the tip of the brush to suggest vein details and leaving lighter patches to build up tonal contrast. I added a few details to the back leaf, then moved back down to the hand, working into the shadows, keeping the top edge of the finger pale and loosely adding details to the thumb. I popped some more dark tones into the leaves, keeping lighter gaps, and then left the painting to dry. Next, with my size 5 brush, I went back to the petals to begin step 3, the midtones. Now I was taking a step back to see where needed to be darker and applying a fairly watery mix to the areas I wanted to subtly darken. I did the same with the leaves and stems and the hand, then moving around all the different areas, adding paint where I felt it needed to be darker. Once the paper was pretty much dry, I strengthened the coloured pencil lines again to help them stand out more boldly against the paint. Then I moved into the 4th painting step, the final adjustments and detail stage. I used the size 5 brush and was gradually darkening areas in the flower and top leaf that needed more contrast or depth. If I was aiming for realism, I'd spend much more time on this stage, but for an illustrative sketch like this, I was seeking to find a balance between adding enough information to build shape and depth, but holding back on the details to keep everything feeling loose and suggestive. With the tip of the brush, I added a few hairy details in the centre, before some further darkening on the front leaf, hand, and anywhere in the painting I felt needed more contrast. Then I loaded my mop brush with plenty of watery paint and created some splatter embellishments to emphasise the relaxed vibe. And I accentuated the sketchy style by using the side of my coloured pencil to extend some of the line work outwards. I stepped back one last time, looked for any final darkening or details to add, and then decided my monochrome violet sketch was finished. Please let me know in a comment if this mini class has inspired you to paint your own monochromatic illustration in this style. And remember that if you'd like to try it with more guidance, the full version of this tutorial is one of the hundreds of classes included with membership to my online school and community Nature Studio. If you've enjoyed watching, please subscribe to Nature Studio TV, then pop over to naturestudio.com where you can sign up for a free class and find a whole heap of free resources to help you capture the beauty of nature on your paper. Thanks for watching, and if you want to find out more about Nature Studio, keep watching. If you haven't taken your free full-length watercolour class yet, you're missing out. Step by step, I'll guide you through painting a 3D pear that looks real enough to pick up and eat. I'll explain not just what to do, but why, so you'll learn a reliable method you can use for painting all kinds of subjects that make your heart sing. You'll discover that you're already a better artist than you thought, and like thousands of others who painted their free pear before you, this discovery might just ignite a spark in you that wants to take this further. Which is where Nature Studio membership comes in. Joining gives you access to hundreds more classes that'll help you develop your skills and grow as an artist. And in addition to the classes, when you join, you become part of a global community of like-minded creatives who can support you and offer you feedback if and when you need it. Get the free pear class now and enjoy discovering wherever it takes you next.